Hi guys, welcome to my January 2022 TBR game. It's still called the Cat Walk TBR. So we're starting out on level 1, which starts right up here, the last, and then it just goes down and up, so it ends right here. So this is what we're working with today, is just my level 1. Level 2 is right below it, and when we get there I'll adjust angles and stuff, but it's kind of a weird angle. I can see that you can kind of see things a bit. That's as good as it's going to get with the space that I have in here. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I've got a random dice. What the heck is that? Oh, random dice generator on my phone. Okay, so I have a random dice generator app. It's just called Dice Roller. So let's go ahead and start. So again, I'm going to roll one dice five times. So I'm going to reduce this down to one dice. Okay, so as you can see, I've got one dice, and it tells you the number up there. Is that a better angle? Okay, still trying to figure this out. So let's go ahead and get started and figure out what the first book that I will be reading for the month of January is. So, okay. Roll is right here. 2. Okay. Okay, so 1, 2. And we're already off to just a fantastic start. So I'm on the vet, which is to read a book that's equal to or greater than 500 pages. Right next to it says +1 book. So instead of 5 required reads for January, I'm up to 6 required reads for January. So let me find a book that is at least 500 pages or more. So this one was not difficult to find. It was over on my TBR cart. The top shelf of my TBR cart, I just have a little container with mechanical pencils and some pens and the books that I will be wanting to read for the month. One of the books that I want to read is actually over 600 pages. It is, not including the acknowledgments, 685 pages. I was reading this series for the Faithful and the Fallen read-along. I have fallen behind. I believe they are finishing the 4th book this month, so for the month of December, and I just couldn't. It was either November or December that is when they had the 4th book scheduled. Anyway, so I am finally, I've been wanting to get to this. I think I've been kind of in a bit of a slump, so I have not picked it up, but I'll be reading the 4th book in the Faithful and the Fallen series, and that is Wrath by Gwynne. So, the very first book is called Malice. If you don't like books with multiple point of views, you're going to want to avoid this series. It's an epic high fantasy or grim dark fantasy. It's very war heavy. There is a lot of bloodshed. It's graphic as far as like body dismemberment. Sorry, I thought my cat wanted in the room. Ophelia. Anyway, so it does have a lot of bloodshed. It is war, so it gives Viking vibes. You're following. There's Corbin, Corlin. Let's see, who are some of the Corbin. Is this one following any? Rafe. Is another point of view. Lycos, Veridus, McKean, and there have been a few more than just those. So this one, supposedly there's this prophecy that you have, what is it, like the black sun and the bright star or something like that. And basically it's this build up to a war and then war. So very much good versus evil. and everything like that. It says even the brave will fall. It's the last one in the series. I really don't know how to explain the series without spoiling anything. My favorite character has been a side character, which is Brennan? No. I'm blanking on her name. Craft is the bird. That's like her familiar. So she has been my favorite character, but I absolutely have loved Corbin as well and his sister. There is a lot of death because it is war, so there are some characters you kind of start to get attached to and who die, of course, because it's war. But so I'm going to be reading Wrath by John Gwynne. Again, this is actually over 600 pages at 685 pages. So I'm excited to finally get to this one. All right. Okay, let's find out what book number 2 will be. Okay, can you see? There we go. 5. All right, and hey, rate this app. So a 5. Okay. Can you see? Okay, so this is where we are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is the paw print. Okay. Okay, so random generator. So I have, how many random generators do I have on here? Okay, so I have 4. So I'm going to go to a random number generator. And I'm going to do 1 through 4. And generate so that I know which generator to go to. So 4. So the last one. Okay, now I'm going to pull them up. Oh, that's read the... Okay. So this is the random number generator. I'm not counting that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's this one. And that's random picture generator. Right? Yep, random picture generator. Okay. All right. So right now it's this. You can see like a bike and stuff. So what is that? Okay. So this is like a wintry setting. And you know, like when you go sightseeing and there are places that are a little elevated and they have those binoculars, big old binocular like things that you can look out and kind of turn to view the scenery. That's what that is. So, but I think because it's like way frosted over, you can see the snow, the trees are bare. I'm going to go with a book that's that's set in winter, because this picture is set in winter. You're hearing the dogs bark. The mail is arriving. So set in winter. So let me see what I've got. Okay, so for a book set in winter, I'm saying it's winter because this one is a Christmas book. So, and that's fine. I can read a book set at Christmas time any time of the year. I'm not a seasonal reader for the most part. So this particular book is called A Royal Christmas Wish. This is by Lizzie Shane. It says it's a Hallmark Publishing. I got this, I don't remember when, but the sticker says it's 2019. It's a 2019 book of the month, Once Upon a Book Club selection. I'm guessing it's going to be like a romance. So it says, life isn't a fairy tale until it is. Okay. Jenny knows she isn't the princess type. Sure, she's friendly and caring, but with her clumsiness and lack of self-confidence, glass sippers would only make her trip. Sounds like me. When Dom, the cute guy she runs into in Central Park, turns out to be the Prince of San Noel, she figures he must not be her happy ever after. So it does definitely take place in winter because New York, and Christmas, it is winter in New York. So, okay. Let's see. But a mysterious countess grants Jenny's one wish, and she finds herself married to this handsome prince. Unfortunately, at the stroke of midnight on Christmas night, her life will go back to normal. It says, in funny and touching ways, Jenny navigates the palace's traditions the best she can. But even as she grows closer to Dom, the clock is ticking. With love and a little holiday magic, could she somehow make the enchantment last forever? So it sounds sweet. This is definitely on the shorter side. It is with the epilogue. Oh, there's recipes in the back. It's 285, and there are recipes in the back. This one is for chicken shawarma. So there is a recipe in the back. So that's pretty cool. So there we go. All right. Okay, back to the dice roller. Let's figure out what the third book will be. 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. This one is a cat show. It's a blue ribbon, which signifies something that I think is a beautiful cover. I'll be right back. Okay, so for this one, I'm actually going to go with an ebook because this ebook is a novella. It's 1.5 in the Kitchen Witch Mysteries series. I have number 2 on my cart that I really want to get to soon, but I want to read number 1.5 before I get to number 2, obviously. So why I am saying this has a beautiful cover is because it has a black cat, and I love cats, especially black cats right now. And so I'm saying it's beautiful because of that. So that's the cover of Murder 101 by Lynn Cahoon. So this one, you have the main character, I forgot her name, Mia Malone. She's opened a catering business, and basically in the first book someone dies and she is blamed for it. She has an assistant. So Mia has magical abilities. And she has an assistant who happens to be the sister of her ex-boyfriend or ex-fiance, I can't remember which. And this assistant, who is like her best friend right now, happens to be on the autism spectrum, so that's pretty cool as well. Now, I've read Cozy Mysteries before, and I like Cozy Mysteries, but I've never continued after the first book in a series, or they've been standalones. So this is my first time continuing on in a Cozy Mystery series. So I'm guessing the same thing's going to be happening. People are going to be dying, and she's going to be to blame. So, because that tends to be what happens with Cozy Mysteries. So I'm excited to finally get to this one. Okay, so let's pull the dice roller back up and figure out where I'm going for book number 4. Okay. I'm trying to make sure you can see. And an ad. Because I'm just trying to Okay, so it's a 6. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, another blue ribbon. So another beautiful cover. Okay. We're going to finish up with level 1. Which, as a reminder, I could end up going back to level 1 if come February I haven't read everything I was supposed to read for January, so hopefully I'll stay out of level 1, but it depends on what we roll. Still have 2 more to do after this one, so let me find another beautiful cover. Okay, now, of course, a beautiful cover is all up to interpretation. I tend to like book covers that are kind of simplistic and very simple. It's not the most beautiful cover. I don't think it's ugly, but I actually really like it. It is very simple. So, plus I really want to continue on with this series. So I'm going to read the 3rd book in the Newsflesh series by Mira Grant, and that is Blackout. So as you can see, very simple. You have kind of a white brick background with a kind of like a warning or a hazard symbol there, and that's it. Very plain, very simple, tells you something's not quite right. So this series, you follow twins, a set of twins, okay? And they have this license or whatever. They work for the media, so for the news. And basically what has happened is in the world, these people came up with this virus, so to speak, that can cure other things. So they no longer suffer from the common cold, the flu, or anything like that. Even cancer is no longer a thing. But this virus that has cured everything makes it so that people that are over a certain weight, which is pretty much everybody, can what they call regenerate, which means they come back to life and they are a flesh-eating zombie. If you get bitten or spit upon, if any sort of the fluid enters your system, you will regenerate. And you don't necessarily have to officially die. So, like, for example, if a zombie spits on you and it gets in your eye, you can regenerate. And obviously you didn't officially die, but you are dead because you're now a zombie. So we're just following this. Things are hitting the fan. We found out that there was this organization that is lying and keeping secrets, which it is a government organization. Yeah. So this is the third one. I mean, that's really all I can say. So in the first one, the twins, what I want to say Shane, and I don't think that's right. I forgot his name. Oh, Georgia is one of the twins. Sean, I think, is the other one. So they get this kind of like a sweet deal where they get to follow this guy running for the presidency, and then obviously with the zombie stuff going on, things are really starting to hit the fan, and you're finding out that certain people are lying when you thought you could trust them, so people are getting stabbed in the back. But yeah, I love it. I'm enjoying this series, so I am going to classify this one as a beautiful cover because it is simple, and I like the simple covers. And I like the tagline that says, "When will you rise?" So there we go. This one's the mass market paperback version, and it's over 600 pages. So yeah, but I'm excited to continue. Alrighty. Okay, let's figure out what the fifth, which should be the last book, but is not. Okay, let's figure that out. Come on. Okay, 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we are out of that one. 5, 6. Okay. Okay, so we've done, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me see if I can adjust the camera angle a little bit so that you can see where we landed on level 2. 5, 6. A book over 500, equal to or over 500 pages. Okay, I found a book over 500 pages. I have been, for the past couple of months, I've been wanting to pick this up, but I've just been putting it off because I'm very nervous. I know this is a popular author. And I'm hoping I like this. I'm pretty sure I will. The books sound very good. So this book looks like it is... It's at least, I think, it's 555 pages. So, and this is my very first time reading from this author, so I am excited. I'm nervous, but I'm going to read Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. So, let's see. So it says, the capital of Arlen. It was home to people transformed into magic-using demigods by the Shayad. I don't know. I'm going to try and find an audiobook of this so I can listen to it and actually hear these words. Okay, so, but then the magic failed. Elantris started to rot, and its inhabitants became powerless wrecks. In the new capital, K, close enough to Elantris to remind everyone what they have lost. A princess arrives ready to seal a political alliance with a wedding and unite Teod and Arleon against religious imperialists. But Raorden, her husband-to-be, is dead. Still determined to fight for Teod and Arleon's freedom, Serene clashes with the high priest Harthine. But secrets remain in Elantris. The dead and the ruined may yet have a role to play in this new world because magic still lives. So, that's Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. Yeah, so I look forward to this. So again, this is my very first Brandon Sanderson, and I'm excited to finally give Brandon Sanderson a try. So what will hopefully be the last one. 5. Okay. Can you see? Okay. All right, so this one we're going up and then down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're on another paw print. Okay, and that's a 1. Okay, so that means, oh, I still even had that random number. Okay, anyway. Okay, so we are right here. So 1. Come on. There we go. This is the random letter generator. So right now we have that. Let's go ahead and generate. Okay, so that's an N. So I need a book that starts with an N, or, well, the letter N has to be the start of a word in the title, or the start of the author's first name, middle name, or middle initial, or last name. So N is fairly common. Let me see what I can find. I've angled things so that I don't have to crouch. Okay, so I looked in my closet. I have all my Book of the Month books because I have more books in my room than will fit on my bookcases. So all my Book of the Month books are in here, which I am not subscribed to Book of the Month anymore, just because I need to get through what I have. So one of the last books I forgot from Book of the Month was Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon, so N. So this will work. I think, so this is, if I remember right, this is a YA. She gets kind of more cynical because, or the girl gets a little bit more cynical because when she sees someone, she'll see how they die. So she doesn't really want to fall in love and deal with that heartache. So she's trying to protect her heart a little bit. That's what I gather from what other people have said. So I'm going to read this one. This is over 200 pages. It is, it's not over 300. It's 281 pages. So I will try to be reading this one. So it's a fairly short book, so that's good. But yeah, so Instructions for Dancing by Nicola Yoon. Okay, so these are the books that I will try to be reading for the month of January. So I have 5 physical books, 1 ebook, but that's a novella, so it's going to be fairly short. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books. Got some chunkers on here, but I know I have an ebook that I can get for Wrath. I've actually already got the ebook with an Audible credit. Same thing with Blackout. So those I can get to go fairly quickly. I'm sure I can get an ebook of Elantris. Don't know about the other 2, but the other 2 are fairly short, so that shouldn't be too bad. Plus they're not like science fiction or fantasy where it's easier for me to understand if I have the ebook along with reading the book. So anyway, so there we go. So 5 physical books, 1 ebook. Yeah, I'm excited. Okay, so that is it for my January Cat Walk TBR game. So we've gone through level 1. We're on level 2, which is the paw print right here, where you can see the hot pink sticky. So come February, if I've read all the books, we will start where I've left off. If I do not read those books, then I have to go back however many spaces of books I did not read. So hopefully I'll complete all those books so that I can keep moving forward. And we only had one prompt that I landed on where I had to add a book. I did not land on the YouTube ones, which is good because that did not add to my prompt pile. So that's it. So that is it for this video. I hope you liked it. You'll find my social media information in the description box if you want to be friends on any of those platforms. So Goodreads, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm not very active on Twitter, but I am there mostly so I can see other people's readathons that they're going to host and maybe participate in some. So we'll see. But that's it for now. So until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I'll talk to you later. Yes. Ophelia agrees.